Very good friends. I just absolutely love his family and his wife, Barbara Padilla. You know, with a name like Tim Thibodeau, you get a lot of jokes. I mean, a lot of jokes. It's, you know, I'm not Cajun. People say, oh, you must be from South Louisiana. I go, no, I'm from South Boston. Anyways, when I was growing up, it's like, what kind of rhymes could you do with your name, Tim Thibodeau? And it's like, oh, from Mary Poppins. Tim Thibodeau, Tim Thibodeau, Tim Thibodeau. So, my daughter's getting married this coming fall, and I thought, you know, I'm going to be walking down the aisle with her. And what perfect way to walk down the aisle than Tim Thibodeau, Tim Thibodeau. That didn't go over real well with her either. But I've been married, it'll be 30 years. And to the same woman. I know in Texas that's not common, but anyways, we got married on September 11th. Now, September 11th, people look at me and they go, you got married on 9/11? Well, actually, I didn't know it was 9/11 in 1982. And they'll say, oh my God, what a tragic day. And I go, yeah, and then I got married. You know, there's a very special woman here tonight, and that's my mother. And she flew all the way down from Massachusetts to hear this 5-minute rendition. My mother's a very shy woman, but sometimes she's not so shy. She got these implants, and I'll tell you what, they are absolutely spectacular. She showed them to me last week. Unbelievable. Cold weather really affects it. I'm talking dental implants, people, okay? My mother, the worst thing that ever happened to my mother was call waiting. I mean, unbelievable. She cannot, it just goes against her grain to just not switch over when someone beeps it. I could call my mother and say, Mom, I've got a 9mm gun right to my temples. I'm depressed. Life's not worth living. Boop. Oh, could you just hold on just 1 second? I think someone's beeping in, and it could be my neighbor, and she might need some sugar. My mother and the telephone, I'll tell you what, my younger brother Jim and I just have tormented my mother for our entire lives. She is a saint, and if you want to, I would suggest that you go up to her tonight, cut a little piece of cloth, because she will be canonized right after Pope John Paul II. She calls my brother Jim in Ohio, and he sees on her, on his caller ID, as my mom. It's like, oh, live meat here. So he picks up the phone and he goes, the number you have reached, 614-475-7879, has been changed. The new number is, and he gives her the same phone number. Well, I can just see my mom. She's scrambling through her house, diving across the table, getting a piece of paper and a pencil. She writes down this new phone number, and then all of a sudden she gets back and she calls the phone number. Well, it's the same number. So he answers the phone. I told you that number's been changed. Why are you calling me again? My brother Jim, I don't know who actually torments my mother more, my brother Jim or I. When he was in high school, he sent himself a Father's Day card. And on the cover, you know, it was addressed, and it was like written by a little kid in crayon, and it's like, Dear Daddy, why don't you call me anymore? Speaking of my brother Jim, he lives in Ohio, and every now and then I'll go up and visit him. And we just love to, like, torment people. I think we were born with an extra gene that just like to torment people.
No.
Oh, absolutely. You too, Barbara. So, we go to his community swimming pool, and they have these dual diving boards. I mean, you know, in the deep end, you know, you got to be in the deep end. So I don't know what the rules are. He doesn't know what the rules are. So we do these synchronized cannonballs. Well, he swims to the left side of the pool, and I swim to the right side of the pool. Well, lo and behold, I was supposed to swim I swam to the left side of the pool instead of the right. All of a sudden, I think I'm in the movie Jaws. I hear all these whistles blowing, and it's just unbelievable. And it's like this screaming and yelling, and finally I turn around, and this 17-year-old pimple-faced kid is looking at me, and he says, "Sir, you're not supposed to swim to that side of the pool." Now here I am in front of all these people, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I turn around and just say, "I can't hear you, I'm deaf." There's another part of that joke, but I've been told I can't say it. So I love messing with people. We go to the mall, and we're in line for Santa Claus, and you know, it's like, you know, the line is so long, and it's like, oh my God, by the time we get up there, my niece is like, when are we gonna get there? I said, here, watch this, I'll clear her out. So my brother goes, what would you like for Christmas? I don't want to be HIV positive anymore. I'll tell you what, we got right to the line, right to the front, and Santa Claus, he looks at me and he goes, so young man, what would you like? I said, I'd like your naughty girl list. And without a blink, Santa Claus says, it's going to be on eBay on Monday morning. You know, my father passed away about 14 years ago. He had colon cancer, and so one of the things that he brought to my attention and my brother's attention is, you know, you got to go get checked. So every year I go and see the doctor. You know, I have a doctor, and his name is Dr. Win. You know, in Vietnam, I guess a win-win is spelled N-G-U-Y-E-N. I guess that didn't go too well, huh? Well, anyways, he comes out with the old rubber glove, and he says, I just want you to bend over this table. So I go, okay. He goes, make believe you're at an Astros game. What the hell kind of game are we at? I hope it's not souvenir bat night. You know, I was born and raised Catholic. There's bets out there if I'm going to drop an F-bomb or not, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of little kids here, so I'm not going to do it. But I have a son. And according to the Catholic religion, you're supposed to name him some religious name. So I figured if you go to the Bible, anything is like, you know, pretty much open game. So we narrowed it down to Tim Jr. or Pontius Pilate. My wife was the chairman of the gala at Prince of Peace. Anyone here from Prince of Peace? And the theme was The Wizard of Oz. And so my wife bought this little dog, and it looks exactly like the dog Toto in The Wizard of Oz. So I ended up having to buy this dog for about $3,100. But one of the things that I didn't understand was that I had to walk this dog. And I'm walking this dog, and I'm going, who's the genius that came up with these blue bags so you have to pick up your dog? So I figured out, you know, I'm going to come up with something interesting because all your neighbors are always looking at you going, is that your dog? You poop in my yard? So I came up with the Play-Doh factory for dogs. You just strap it to their butt, and then when they crap, they actually crap in stars and half moons and triangles. So when your neighbor comes up to you and says, hey, is that your dog shit on my yard? Does it look like a star? I don't think so. You know, I'm a big fan of words. And one of the words is, in crucifixion, they actually had to come up with a word to describe the pain caused by crucifixion. I mean, the intense pain that was caused by crucifixion. And the word was excruciating. That's because divorce was already taken. Another word that really conjures up some things is fantasy. You know, guys are thinking one thing and women are thinking another. Guys are thinking, you know, all these sexual things, and women are thinking about going shopping and getting purses that match their shoes. Well, the question that's been on people's minds since the 1960s, especially, well, only for men, is Ginger or Marianne?
Marianne! Marianne! Marianne!
We're talking fantasy, right? If this is my fantasy, it's Ginger and Marianne.
Let me know!
Oh, forget about Gilligan. He's a pot-smoking guy that went to school with Diane Gray. One of my favorite actors of all times, and I'm going to wrap this up. One of my favorite actors of all times is Jack Nicholson. Now, Jack is as cool as the other side of the pillow. Now, can you imagine what it would be like if Jack Nicholson was up here right now? Jack Nicholson as a comedian.
What do you say?
I perform my craft 10 yards from the audience. Who's going to make them laugh? You, Mr. Bartender? You, Kyle Howard? You, Barbara Padilla? I don't think so. You need me on this stage. You want me on this stage. Thank you and good night.